Okay, Travis, so I did want to show you one other version of a type of a swing here. This is the wristless swing. This takes the changes of the angle of the face, both loft and open and close, um, out of the swing. So in essence, we're presetting it where we want it. So we're aiming it up really well. We're presetting the angle that we want it to be at, high or low, really by the hand position and the ball position, and then we're holding it relatively firmly the entire swing. So we don't want to see any bending, cupping, bowing, any kind of lag action or anything. This is really the opposite of the lag kind of wrist swing. Where we're going to get a lag in this swing is from the left arm, left rotator cuff. Yeah, so it comes from the left arm and the left rotator cuff there. So I'm going to go through the swing here and kind of explain it, but really it's an arm swing. Really, it's an arm swing that the body is providing power for, and really as well the direction of which way the arm is going to swing. So one thing that you'll notice here when I put the plane line down, and I'm going to put it right there so we can see the shaft real well. The first move is actually just a hair of a move away from the ball, and that's to get the club, the weight of the club and the head and the shaft swinging on that perfect plane line. So let's take a look. So there's just a hair of a move away, but as soon as it moves away, the body recenters itself. So you notice, and I think the angle is a hair off here, but you notice that it's really, really nicely on plane right here. Okay, so here we are up at the top of the swing, and you also notice here from this angle, from this down the line angle, a couple things. You notice that the hips have turned pretty well, the shoulders have turned nicely, and you also notice that that club has never gotten to what we would call a parallel to the ground position, which is really a ridiculousness kind of idea of why somebody had an arbitrary idea that parallel to the ground was supposed to be a good thing. But we also notice that that left arm and the shaft are on this same plane, which is exactly what we want to see. And actually, I could even do a little better job. There we go. And you notice that's the same plane as our original plane, or parallel to our original plane. That is our address line there. Okay, so now I'm just going to go on the video on the right. We're going to go up to the top of the swing too, and we can see that little shift backwards to start the swing out. But you notice as we get to the top, recenters. So we're recentered beautifully over the ball. So now we're at the top, and again you can see that we're not getting to parallel as we've held that original angle exactly where it is. Now one thing that looks a little deceiving, and this is just because of the camera angle, is that it looks like we have a 90-degree angle between the shoulders and the wrist here, but we know that's really not the case. That's just because of the ducked camera angle here. It's just something to keep in mind, but not all that important. So again, we're holding this position. We're trying to hold this exact wrist position throughout the swing. But the first move now that we're going to have into the downswing is a very strong move forward. That's going to keep the swing on plane. So what we're doing is we're trying to shift that whole left portion of the body forward towards the target. And I want to, as that's happening, I'm swinging and driving the shoulders, driving the hips, everything forward, and I'm letting that momentum swing the arms through. And I'm going to continue until after the ball's gone, continue trying to drive forward. But that's the momentum, that's the start of the swing that allows the arms to swing and stay behind the turn of the body. So I'm trying to drive here forward all the way through the shot. Okay, so here I am at impact. I've held my wrist angle really nice and firm, and I'm going to show you one other cool thing that happens. So now we're taking the wrist out of the swing, so we're not trying to do a wrist lag, and that's a good swing, but I feel like that type of swing is a much, much less consistent and less accurate as far as consistency's sake. We can be accurate with it, but we're not going to be consistently accurate with the wrist lag. What we get is now we're transferring that power. The power is no longer lagging from the wrist. It's actually lagging really, really cool is lagging from that rotator cuff, lagging from that shoulder. And so you can notice that original move forward, that as that comes down, there's our shoulder leg. We notice that, and we can see it because that angle increases on our way down. So there's our shoulder leg. That's where we're getting that additional power from. So it's that move forward and being soft enough right here in the shoulder and the rotator cuff to allow that leg to happen. It's the same idea as with the hand leg, but I feel like the hands have too much rotational ability in them, so we're just not going to get that consistency, like I said before, that we'd ideally get from something like the shoulder leg. Very interesting. So keeping the wrist quiet, it's a slight move back and a real driving force forward to keep that on plane. Okay, so we're just going to stop at impact here. I'm going to go ahead and go forward to impact here, and we're just past impact, but the club's pretty much in the right position. So we're just going to back out, and you notice, again, I think that's from the camera angle, it's just a hair under, but really absolutely close enough to be very, very consistent, very, very accurate. And so this, what I find, is consistent accuracy, pinpoint accuracy on a daily basis, really by taking the wrist out of it. And a lot of times you'd think that we're going to be ending up losing power from this motion. I don't see any loss of power at all. In fact, I think I actually see a gain of power, especially when we get that really nice shoulder leg out of the swing. So wristless motion, it's a really simple swing. Hair of a move back to start the weight of that club moving backwards right on plane, and then a nice forceful move forward and keep moving all the way through until after the ball is gone, hit, contact to your club. Wrist is saying firm, relatively firm, not like trying to choke the club, but relatively firm enough to hold it in a consistent position, same exact position that you have it at address. Give it a try and see what you think.